Hi everyone, today we'll be doing factorization of algebra expressions. Alright, the questions on screen are what we're gonna do today. Let's get right into it. Let's start with A. A has 4x squared plus 12x cubed y plus 20x squared y squared. Alright, looking at this, I just want to pay attention to the numbers that I have over here. What I have is 4, 12, and 20. Alright, looking at these numbers, what I want to do is to find a common factor that I can factorize out of all these numbers. Right, and 4, 12, and 20, immediately I know that the factor is 4. Right, 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 3 is 12, and 4 times 5 is 20. Now what I want to do is to look at my algebra terms, okay? Down here I have x squared, x cubed, y, x squared, and y squared. What do these have in common? They all have x squared. So besides factorizing out 4, what I want to do is also to factorize x squared. So what I'm going to do is to factorize 4x squared out of all 3 terms. So looking at this 4x squared, when I factorize out of 4x squared, what I'm left with is 1. When I take 4x squared out of 12x cubed y, what I'm left with is 3xy. And lastly, if I take 4x squared out of 20x squared y squared, what I am left with is 5y squared. And this is my answer for A. Let's move on to question B. Now, B wants us to factorize 8y squared z plus 12y z squared minus 8y minus 12z. Now, looking at my numbers, I see that I have 8, 12, 8, and 12. Alright, so immediately I know that, hey, I can factorize out 4. But before that, I want to look at my algebra terms. Right, I can take out 4 from all of this, but can I take out an algebra as well? I have y squared over here, y, but I don't have a y over here. I have z over here, z squared, z over here, but I don't have any z over here. So now, looking at this, what I want to do is to break them up. Okay, I am going to pair 8y squared z together with negative 8y and positive 12yz squared with negative 12z. Alright, when we do this, let's rearrange them. What I have is 8y squared z minus 8y followed by positive 12yz squared minus 12z. Now that I rearranged them, I want to split them into 2 parts as such. And I'm going to factorize out of each part one at a time. So looking at the first part over here, I have 8y squared z minus 8y. What I can do is to factorize out 8y. What I'm left with is yz minus 1. Okay, and then looking at the other side, what I can factorize out is positive 12z. And what I'll be left with is yz minus 1 as well. Now looking at this, I can see that what is inside my bracket is exactly the same. So what I can do is to factorize that out. And what I'm left with is 8y plus 12z times yz minus 1. And now before I say that this is my answer, I want to redirect your attention to the question. What does it say? It says to factorize each of the following expressions completely. And looking at this over here, I can see that, hey, I have 8 and 12, right? And I know that they have a common factor of 4. So what I want to do is to factorize out my 4, and that will leave me with 4 times 2y plus 3z, yz minus 1. And this is my answer for B. Moving on to question C. Now C wants us to factorize 4ax squared minus 3b minus 12bx squared plus a. Now looking at my numbers, I have 4, 3 and 12 over here. But I do not have a number here, so there is no way that I can factor out my numbers from all of these terms at the same time. Alright, so likewise with the previous question, what I want to do is to split them up, to pair them together with things that has the same terms. Now you might be thinking, I have x squared over here and x squared over here, why not I pair those two together? But what does that leave us with? It leaves us with 1b and 1a over here that we cannot factorize anything out of. So we definitely do not want to do that. Instead, what I want to do is to pair my a's together. So 4a squared together with positive a and negative 3b with negative 12bx squared. Alright, rearranging them, what I would have is 4ax squared plus a minus 3b minus 12bx squared. What I want to do now is to split them up once again and factorize from them individually. Right here, of course, I'm going to factorize out a. What I'm left with is 4x squared plus 1. And what I can do here is to factorize out negative 3b. And what I'm left with is 1 plus 4x squared. Alright, and looking at this, you can tell once again that the things that I have in my bracket are exactly the same. So what I want to do is to factorize them out. What I'm left with is a minus 3b multiplied by 4x squared plus 1. And this is my answer for C. Now moving on to the last question, question D. D wants us to factorize 6m times 3x minus 2y plus 8n 2y minus 3x. Now looking at this, it kind of looks like it's already factorized. For example, 6m is factorized out of 3x minus 2y, and positive 8n is factorized out of 2y minus 3x. Now I want to direct your attention to these brackets over here. We see that, hey, it is actually very similar. I have positive 3x and negative 2y over here. But on the other side, I have positive 2y and negative 3x. Now, what I want to do in this situation is to factorize out a negative 1 out of this bracket. That will help me to flip the signs for both terms in the bracket. So what that gets us is 6m times 3x minus 2y plus 8n bracket negative 1 3x minus 2y. If you are still confused and you're not sure what is going on, let me just show you by expanding it once again. Alright, if I take negative 1 times 3x, what I'm left with is negative 3x. And if I take negative 1 times negative 2x, what I'm left with is positive 2x, which is the same as this over here. So what I have just done is just to factorize negative 1 out of it. Looking at this, what I want to do is to times the negative 1 into my positive 8n. And that will give me 6m, 3x minus 2y minus 8n, 3x minus 2y. From here, the items in my bracket are exactly the same already. And what I can do is to factorize them out. That will leave me with 6m minus 8n times 3x minus 2y. And to factorize it completely, I'm going to factorize 2 out of this. That will leave me with 3m minus 4n times 3x minus 2y. And this is my answer for D.